How's it going, guys? It's Brendan here. DJ Ren. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what I work with and what I practice on. I don't have a gig this weekend, and I'm trying to put out a video every week. I'm going to certainly try and hold myself to that. But yeah, so this is what I practice on. It's a pair of Stanton straight 150 turntables, and it's called a straight 150 because it has a straight tone arm. The Stanton 150 regular has a curved tone arm, just like everyone's kind of used to. The straight tone arms are more meant for scratching, that sort of thing, which I mean I'm certainly not Red Bull 3 style ready, that's for sure, but I do like to mess around. I've got a Behringer DDM 4000 mixer. You can see that right there. This is a non-MIDI mixer. What that means is that it's not talking to the computer or software. It's everything on here is done manually by the user or DJ. And obviously the second one. I also have some Novation dicers because this mixer isn't MIDI. I don't have buttons on it that I can press for cue points or whatever, so that's what the dicers are for, and they're a fun little toy when you want to do tricks and stuff like that. Let's see if I can grab it. It's running all on a digital vinyl system. This is known as the Denon DS1. Get in there. It's about half the price of a Rane interface. That's like $400. And it does exactly the same thing. It's a fantastic product. So good on Denon for finally getting something out there to take Rane off of its high horse. Not that it's a bad company, but yeah, I mean, those interfaces are pretty expensive. This is all in a 12-inch mixer coffin case. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It has a laptop stand, but I did have 3 individual cases, and I wish I kept them because I would take these out more. These are heavy. They're 40 kgs if I remember, which means they're 80 to 100 pounds each. So I mean, you can imagine we're looking at 250 give or take or whatever for the whole thing, and I cannot lift that, so I end up taking the turntable out whenever I do take them out to a gig, which is extremely rare. Moving right along, right now I'm running Serato on a 2009 MacBook Pro. The MacBook I bought off of eBay for a couple $100. It didn't have a hard drive or enough RAM, so I went out and bought some RAM for it. I believe there's 8 gigs in there is what it could handle total. As well as I bought a Samsung 750 solid state hard drive. And it's been a beast. The good thing and I guess bad thing is it works fantastic with my setup as well as the controller that I typically use. As the controller's mixer isn't MIDI either, is kind of one of the first ones out there. This puppy does not like new controllers. I do have some problems if I try and do any effects. It'll put it into Serato as well, and then it really bogs the computer down and tends to freeze. But I also have a 2011 that I use for those kind of situations with basically the same everything on it. I'm just going to say one thing too. I have Virtual DJ. I had it since version 7. It came with a controller. Guys, if you're a new DJ, don't listen to anyone telling you that this program is bad. As far as standards and grading in the software world, Virtual DJ surpasses Serato by far. When you open it up, this is exactly what you get. You don't have to be connected to an interface or a sound card at all. You can use it just like this. The nice thing about that is if the sound card or whatever ever fails, you can go from your headphone jack to a separate channel and go from there and continue on with your show, especially with things like weddings and whatever. It's a lifesaver. Serato, you do not have that option. As soon as I unplug, that's it. That's all you get. So if anything ever happens and you try and run an aux cord, you're working with one song. That's it. But yeah. The other thing is these Numark speakers. When I bought the controller, I had to be $400 to get the credit, so these were $100 or whatever. I don't remember the model, but they've been good for me. So they're not a professional studio here, so. But yeah, I'm gonna show you a few tricks, so let me get the camera turned around and we're right back at it. Alright guys, so we're back. There's lots of different ways to mix a song for you new DJs or even beginner DJs. For the most part, everyone will tell you make sure you're beat matching, know your music, that sort of thing. An example of beat matching I will run for you now. We gon' have fun at the spot tonight. So you're matching the beats, same tempo. Yeah, so that's beat matching, fairly basic. You know, you're counting in your head usually to 32, so you know what's going on. Then it just comes to a point that you start to know the songs and you know where, that sort of thing. As you may have seen, I probably scratched it in a little bit. That's just my own personal flair. That's my own fun. One thing I'm going to say is song selection is always going to be the most important. It doesn't matter what kind of tricks you know. If you are mixing two really bad songs for the crowd that you're playing to, it's not going to matter. You know, they might, oh, okay, so this guy can mix, but it doesn't matter if you can mix because they don't like the songs. So keep that in mind. You are there as entertainment, but you're there for the crowd. You're not there for yourself. You know, you're not Tiesto or anything like that, DJ Craze or anything like that. Like, and even still, those guys will play partially to the crowd, and they're playing what they feel the crowd wants to hear. So never think that you're above the crowd and you know that you don't take requests. That's absolutely the wrong attitude, because your crowd will tell you where they want to go. Alright guys, so another method of mixing songs is called wordplay or tone play. For this example, I'm using Fitz and the Tantrums hand clap and James Brown, I Got You or I Feel Good. First couple of times I heard hand clap, I didn't really pay attention to it. I was on the way home from work or something. This is the song we're talking about, for those of you that don't know. When I sat down and listened to it, there's an actual verse in there that he talks about James Brown. Once I heard that, I knew, you know, I instantly thought of James Brown and his iconic scream. I knew that I had to try something and throw them together, so I did, and it's actually turned out quite well at a lot of weddings and stuff. So I'll just scratch it in and drop it for the first verse, and then I usually mix the song in the second, so it sounds like this. Oh, sorry. And then the second one. We could be screaming till the sun comes out. something like that. And it's pretty good, especially, you know, as another transition. These two do happen, they're fairly close. I've brought James Brown down from 72 BPM to 70 with hand clap. But then there's also a drastic change where wordplay or tone play can be beneficial. The song Ballin', Juicy J featuring Kanye. Mix that in with Jim Jones. We Fly High, right? Yeah, something.
Planet, I just joined the Fortune 500. I'm in the boardroom in pajamas. And I'm ballin', 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 and one, and I'm ballin', glass, and I'm ballin', one, and I'm ballin', whistle, and I'm
something like that, right? DJing is about having fun. You know, it took me a little bit of time to learn how to beat match. To be quite honest, I used my favorite song, which is It's Like That, Run DMC versus Jason Nevin. Whoops.
this.
I threw it on both, when I had my controller, I threw it on both decks. I would put it somewhere in the song, hit play, and then try and at least match the beats. Now there's more to it than that. There's also phrasing, stuff like that, bars, but at the very start, that's what I did. You're matching a 4/4 beat, you know, you need to be counting from 1 to 32 and then go, you know, or at least I think I counted to 8 or something like that, and then I would drop it, and that's fine. Do whatever you got to do to learn, because it makes DJing so much more fun versus just being that guy that plays one song, and then plays another, you know, especially with the way the music is now, all the performances, things like that. A lot of people, especially, you know, 40 and under, maybe even a little above 40, they're used to the mixing now. It's not just one song after the other. You know, we're not a jukebox. That's the thing, is that we're there to provide entertainment, have a good time, make sure they have a good time, and make sure it sounds good too. So, I mean, if you want to just press play all day long, I mean, that's fine, man, whatever. That's up to you. But at least doing this opens your world and expands your mind for doing a lot more. But yeah, thanks for sticking with me, guys, and catch you in the next one.